Come on. We'll get back to that. With me tonight is Jonathan from the Guides. You go by Jonathan or John?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yep.
So it was Sour Mash, Mr. Mayhem, and Six Gun Sally, Sitting Pretty were the songs that we started the show off with. So this is like, this one is a show that's been coming for a long time because you and I first discussed it at a oh wow, it was at the Hard Rock in person.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. It was around Halloween 2023, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
Early on, it's our first year that we were active.
It was why am I blanking on the band names? Theriaca was there, and Neverwake.
Neverwake. Yep. Yeah.
I can't remember. I feel like there was another band. Doesn't matter.
I don't know. That feels like a long time ago, and it kind of was, but
yeah,
it's easy thinking back how fast that also went from a lot of other perspectives.
So let's first of all get everybody a little bit of a perspective on your band Guides. The songs I'm playing tonight, I would say one is metal and one is kind of hard rock. Where would you place yourselves?
So I think we're it's kind of, I don't know if I would say we're either one of those, but I think that's, in terms of the big categories, that's where we're kind of bouncing in between. We're a lot of new metal, right? For your, if you're into Chevelle and Tool and Stained and Taproot is my favorite band, and so that's our biggest influence. But we also are very influenced by post-hardcore and kind of that next wave of where rock went after nu metal. So Thursday and AFI and Finch is one of my favorite bands. So I've been telling people that we are, if Taproot and Finch kind of like formed and joined forces. Another way to put it is, I've always wanted to play a sound that, if we were in early 2000s, that we could play Ozfest or we could play Warped Tour. We kind of split that line, and we have. I think that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So our song Drain, which was our first new single that we put out in May, is much more on that nu metal, the heavier side. There's a lot more screaming and there's some weird time signatures. But production wise, it has that post-hardcore kind of rawness and to it. It's not overproduced like the octane kind of radio rock that a lot of us are that are fans of as well. So it's kind of more on that early 2000s production style, which I think gives it that post-hardcore feel. And our latest new single that we just put out in June, Failure Defines, is just a more straightforward rock song, and I think it is more comparable to the radio rock. I don't know what to call it, but Octane or the X or whatever station you might be familiar with, but more in that Chevelle direction. But again, our production being intentionally a little bit more raw and underproduced, gives it, it gives it that early 2000s sound. So kind of depending on where you drop the needle, we're either early 2000s nu metal or 2022 to 2024 post-hardcore, somewhere in there.
So you have another single coming out on July 11th. We're first of all, what is the title?
17th.
July 17th. I apologize.
That's okay.
Where would it fall genre wise? And
actually somewhere else on the spectrums. So the single coming in July 17th, it's called Just Take One. It's actually more of a ballad. It's piano driven. It's still hard. It still sounds like guides, and there's a breakdown in it, so it hits all of the spots we just talked about. But if we're kind of putting the new singles on a spectrum, it's a little bit of I guess Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So Drain, the first single, is on the heaviest side. Failure Defines is right in the middle, and Just Take One, the single that's coming in July, is more on that ballad. I think more emotional. I don't want to call it soft, but it's a different vibe for sure than the other two.
Now, where do you record your stuff at?
So for this latest round, for the singles that we're putting out, we had the incredible opportunity to work with sorry, we had the incredible opportunity to work with Zach Diebels. He goes by Z-Rock, but he is the guitar player for the band Simon Says. And if you are not familiar with Simon Says, they were kind of a little pre-nu metal, but they were on Hollywood Records in the early 2000s. They did 2 major label records on Hollywood, and I was a huge fan when I was a kid. They were one of the first bands that I saw when I was 12 years old, and I'm not kidding. This sounds made up because it sounds like such a fantasy, and it really is. But I was 12 years old. I had been to another show. I saw Family Values '99. So that was my first big rock show. It was Limp Bizkit and Stained, and I forget who else was on that. I think Filter was on that. But Stained blew my mind. Family Values. They quickly became my favorite band. They came back to State College on their Dysfunction tour, and they played the Crowbar, which I don't know if you're familiar with the Crowbar, but it was a
I've not been there,
tiny.
but
Well, it doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But it was this. I don't. I was too young to really understand, what the like cap would be and stuff. But it couldn't have been more. It was smaller than the altar bar, so I mean, it was I think like a 900 cap if it was maxed out on both levels. But just basically tiny dive bar right in the heart of Penn State campus. And I grew up in Hollidaysburg, Altoona area, so that was 45 minutes for me. And at the height of nu metal being, mainstream, all of those bands were coming. They were bringing them to the Crowbar and State College. So Stained came, and right while as they were breaking out, and my sister and her boyfriend took me, and I had no business being. It was a school night. I had no business being in this place, and I got to see Stained, and Simon Says was the opener, and getting to like I still remember the moment that they came on stage and started playing, and it blew my mind. Like it was the moment that I was like, this is what I want to do when I grow up. And so for 25 years later, to be in the position to get to work with Z-Rock was just incredible opportunity. So we obviously took full advantage of that, and he actually came here in November, and we did all of the drums at Tonic Studios in McKeesport, and then the rest of that week we just did guitars and stuff at my house, actually in this room, and then he came back in December, and we did vocals here in my home studio. So it was a combination of Tonic and here, and then Z-Rock engineered all of it and took it back with him to his studio in Sacramento and did all of the editing and putting it together. And then we had Matt Thomas from Ashtone Audio in Sacramento. He did all the mixing and mastering.
very cool. So let's take our first break and listen to both of those tracks, Drain and Failure Defines, and we will be right back. either. I was on it. Hey, it's Bill. You are tuned in to episode 833 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. With me is Jonathan from Guides. Is it? I say the, but then I know like the band.
Yeah,
the band's
no
name is Guides,
Yeah,
right?
it's Guide.
I'm quirky about stuff like that because, like the Pennsylvania Rock Show, I don't capitalize the, and it should be capitalized, but I purposely don't, and I want to make sure that I get things right.
I'm very picky about it yet as well. So Guides, all caps, right? So if you're writing it out, if it's not the logo, it's always all caps, and so it bothers me when I see it out there and it's not all caps.
So you gave us a lot of information about the two songs we just heard, Drain
Yes.
and Failure Defines. Let me hit you with some of my normal off the wall questions in this segment.
Absolutely. Sure.
So I'm going to start you off with the unofficial and official Build a Scene questions. The unofficial question is, what is the best pizza you've had because you're a musician?
Because I'm a musician. What's the best pizza I've had because I'm a musician?
So recording session, at a gig, on your way to or from a gig, just music related.
I have to give this unofficial plug because I'm hoping for some sponsorship here, maybe some free pizza. But the official, unofficial sponsor of all the Guides after parties is Milano's downtown. So after every show, we're always getting a huge order of Milano's, pepperoni with banana peppers, a couple extra large pies. So that's our favorite for sure.
Very cool. All right, now the official Build a Scene question is, who's your Dave Grohl? And by that I mean, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their original songs and maybe get harassed a little bit?
So perfectly timed question. I don't know if you saw the clips of Limp Bizkit over the weekend, but absolutely Fred Durst.
I did not see the clips.
So he brought some kid up to do, and this is the song I would want to do too, Full Nelson, and it was comical, but the kid was bad, and Fred Durst was just you could tell he was having fun with it. So absolutely, I would do a better job. I did that song karaoke in Mexico one year at the all-inclusive resort, and that turned some heads. So I'm well practiced.
Let's say you're leaving a show and there's a DeLorean sitting outside with its door up and a flux capacitor in the back. Where are you going to go in time, and what band are you going to hang out with or play with?
Ooh. So I am like truly like a from like a child of the grunge era, right? So my taste does not go back any further than that, than the 90s. So I don't have any good like historic answer. But I would have loved, honestly, like it's kind of an obvious lame answer, but I would love to go. Actually, the band that I would love to tour with, like in their like arena days, would be Bush, because Bush was one of my first, like that was. I have an older sister who basically, I listened to all the grunge bands with her, and Alice in Chains and STP were staples. But like Bush was the first band that I latched onto and said like, this is my band, and so I didn't really get to see them though until their comeback in the 2010s. So I never got to see the original lineup. So not only just to see them, but if I could kind of drop myself into an era and be a part of something, I'd want to prime Bush.
If you could sit down with a musical idol and ask them one question to get the conversation started, who would you want to sit down with, and what would be that one conversation starter that you would ask?
Man, the weird, and like the I don't mean to sound like I don't like I've gotten to do this. So that's like the cool thing.
Well,
I don't know how to answer
tell
that now.
tell us about that.
um, I mean, I've been very fortunate in the last 3 years to like I said earlier, my favorite band is Taproot, and I've not only been on stage performing with them in the last 3 years, but just like I've gotten to just hang out with them and like in in all these different situations. So like I've just been like I've gotten kind of all gotten my questions answered. I don't know, but it's and same with Simon Says, right, and Z Rock. So it's really like for me the questions that like have been the most interesting, I guess, answers and that I've to learn about is like what was it like? What was it like to be on Hollywood Records and touring with Limp Bizkit and doing this stuff in your early 20s? Just like, getting to hear it from the person that did it and not just like through an interview, but like to have the stories told to you. Like it's a really special, I guess, kind of, if you think about sports, like if you were like getting to play on the same team as Sidney Crosby, at this point, and what you would learn just from being in the room and engaging, like it's been really cool to have those experiences and kind of mentor relationships with where I'm at.
um, if let's do this one. So you're like, okay, what one? Kiss Kiss played in a bay to sharks in Australia. Metallica has played in the South or Antarctica. My friend Jazz from Jazz's Rock and Road Show, look that up, people, has played one of his original songs at the South Pole. What is a non-traditional venue that you would like to play at?
Space, like I want like the moon. I don't know, like it's like absolutely somewhere in space. I think Mars is too far, but I think the moon.
And if
I think that's like
if you forget a piece of equipment, that show's gonna be delayed a bit.
well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter how far you can be 5 minutes from your house. If you forget something, it's a problem. So ask my band, anyone in my band, how about my policy on backups. If you don't have a backup, we're already in trouble. It doesn't matter. Like once you're at the show, you're at the show.
So, with that being said, what is that one piece of equipment that's most important for your band?
Our drummer. No, so I mean, we're very much a live band, right? So we use tracks because we have stuff going on some of our songs that we don't have a keyboard on stage, but we don't rely on much in terms of assistance. So if we don't have either of our guitars or our drums, we're in trouble. We don't really have any way to kind of reorient our show to get by without a main instrument. So they're all important. Again, I make everyone carry backups no matter where we go because we we don't really want to be without anything. We've learned that over the years. I joke about the drummer because we did go to a festival last year, and I won't name names, but we were promised a back line on the stage we were on, and we get there and find out that there was no drum kit there. And it was the one time that was not it was uncharacteristic of us, but yeah, it was almost they found a drum kit, but it was almost
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take our second break. I want a theme in this segment. We're gonna hear from 3 Leagues to Rome and Medusa's Disco, and the tracks are Blood in the Water and Blood and Honey. And we'll be right back. It's Bill. We're back for segment number 3 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show featuring Jonathan from the band Guides. And we have 2 more songs at the end, but I want to throw out there that we are going to play a Rain Z song, which Jonathan's wearing their shirt if you're watching the video. And it kind of fits that. It kind of fits that theme that I just played. It's called Bad Blood, but you'll hear it a little later. Okay, so let's do this. I haven't asked this question in a while. If you were going to build a band out of the local scene, you can only manage it, you're not going to be in it, who would you put in the band?
Oh, how does this not get people in trouble?
They understand.
Oh, can I take a cop out on this one?
I could ask a different question if you'd prefer.
Okay, well, my cop out is I don't know if there's anyone else I could handle dealing with other than the band I have now. So I'm gonna go with it. Once you've been around, you've been around. So I'll leave it at that.
Hey, how about an embarrassing moment that's happened on stage?
Oh, that's perfect. Great, thank you. So our it wasn't our last show, but we played in April at the Fun House with Desolence and Rain of Z, recurring theme, and Greywalker, and we went on first, and we were all fired up, because we haven't played in a while, and we were like well into like our push cup songs coming and the plan being in place, so we're just kind of happy to be there. And I was wearing some experimental pants from Amazon on stage as part of my wardrobe, and I did what I always do. I jumped off stage. I got in the crowd trying to start a mosh pit and get people going. And when I went back on stage, I did the big step up, and the whole middle of the crotch of my pants just ripped. And I felt it happen, luckily. And not one was going to see anything, that shouldn't be seen, but my immediate instinct was, oh no, the pictures. So I just turned. So I just my back was to Tim, but I ran off stage to change after the song because we had like a natural break for tuning or whatever. But then the band had no idea what happened, so they didn't know why I ran off stage. So everyone was assuming the worst, right? So like the feedback that got back to me, and I did come back after I changed and explain what happened on stage. But the feedback I got to me was, thank God you explained it, because we all assumed that you crapped your pants.
I mean, that would be a bad story too.
Yeah, I'm grateful it was just a wardrobe malfunction. And again, backups. I didn't put these pants back on, but I literally had the same pair of pants in my wardrobe bag as a backup if I would have wanted to go that direction. But I played it safe, went with something that wouldn't rip the rest of the set, and we made it. We made it through. It's good.
So I did tell you that we were going to take a look at your website. We're going to do that right now. Okay, so I know when we did this before we started that there was something that you want to mention to everybody that will be there soon.
Yeah, so I did not. The new song "Failure Defines" does not have a place here yet. You won't see it on here, but it's everywhere else. So if you're looking for "Failure Defines," do not go to the website, but anywhere else that you would stream, you will find it. There's also a music video coming for "Failure Defines" in July. We're got to do a couple more, get more shots this week, and then that will be on its way. A lot of fun with that.
While I'm sitting on the upcoming dates, do you want to go over those?
Yeah, so in a little less than 2 weeks now, but July 11th, we're in Erie, PA for the first time at Centennial Hall, and we're playing with a band from the Michigan area, See This Through, who's been kind of touring around regionally, and a couple Erie bands, my Cogonaut, and I'm sorry, they just added another one today. I don't remember the fourth one. My apologies. Oh, it's Stellar Modus is the fourth one. And then a week after that, so about 3 weeks from now, July 18th, we're back in Pittsburgh at the Mr. Roboto project, and that's our Roboto debut. And we're there with a band from Cleveland that we are very fond of, called Truss, and they're kind of post grunge new metal from Cleveland, and also Eye Candy and Shell and the Wretched Hearts on that bill as well. So ticket links in our Linktree bio. Also can hit them on the website here. Bands in town, but anything you know about the shows, find on the site. Also have merch available online. Our full. Actually, I need to get the hoodies on there. So again, another reminder for myself. You're making more work for me tonight.
You're welcome.
I need to get the hoodies on there, but all of our merch is available online. And spoiler for the new shows, I'm working on some new designs that are hopefully be available here at the July shows.
And then contact information there and places to follow you. And if you're not looking at the video, so you weren't watching, you're just listening, it is guidesmusic.com. Make sure you go check that out. Order some merch, head to some shows, get some music. So if you kind of answered one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier on, you told us when you realized that you wanted to be a musician.
Oh yeah. What the dream job? Is that the question?
The question is when did you realize you wanted to be on stage?
Oh.
And
yeah, so it was literally since that moment. Not that I took that path or anything from that point directly or anything. It's not like I really, a lot of my music development happened in my 20s, but as just like from an energy perspective and as a fan, like that became the dream. And every job interview I've ever had, and I'm not kidding, like I have a very serious job. like when I like every job I've done, even in my like pro career, when they ask you what's your dream job, because that's always a question, I have said I want to be a rock star. And then I have a follow up to that, but that is, I mean, I'm not kidding. Like I wanted to be a rock star. Like that's my dream job. So, I've always been very open and forward about that.
Okay, so you get signed. You're headed out on your first tour. I'm driving the tour bus. What are we going to listen to in between show dates?
Probably not anything that sounds like what we're playing or who we're touring with. It's funny. Up until like maybe 3 years ago, and you read interviews with bands you listen to, and they ask, what do you listen to? And they're the typical answer is, I don't really listen to anything. I don't want to be influenced, blah, blah, blah. I always called bullshit on that. Sorry. I always called BS on that. But now that I'm like living this life more the way that I am, I don't really have time to really like listen to stuff the way that I did before. And I don't really have the headspace for it because I'm working on my stuff all the time. So it's like I want something else. So it's like TV. I listen to a lot of talk radio, like sports talk radio, not because I really care as much as just like it's something else.
Some background noise.
I think, yeah, and just kind of I don't have to study it. I think honestly, what started ruining music for me from a listening perspective was I did a music minor in college, and analyzing music like academically like that, and when you just go to leave and listen to Taproot, it was like, what's going on here? And it's like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But no, I listen to a lot of like dark female fronted pop, like Banks and FKA Twigs and Fanagram and stuff like that, like moody pop. So that's kind of my leisure listening, and I think it's just kind of different. Same kind of mood as like the rock that I listen to, but it's something else.
Very cool. So that's actually our time. I want to thank you for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Hopefully sooner than it took to do the first
Yes,
time.
yes. So make sure you go to guidesmusic.com. I have 2 more tracks for you tonight. They are 2 bands that are going to be playing in Cleveland on July 10th with Lizzie Hale and another band called Maxzilla. We're going to hear Rain of Z, Bad Blood, and Storms Within, Not So Easy, right here on the Pennsylvania Rock Show. We've reached the end of the show, which means it's time for me to spin the wheel and find out who Dressy Entertainment is giving 2 tickets to see Metal Church to. We had 2 people sign up, Keith Laydig and Justin Todd. I entered both their names a bunch of times. I'm not going to shuffle this time. It's every other one on the wheel. So again, that's Metal Church with Heathen, All Sinners, and Executionist on Thursday, July 23rd, 5:30 p.m. doors, 7 p.m. show. It's at the Craft House. It is a minors allowed show as long as they're there with a parent or guardian. If you're not familiar with how this works, you just go to musicfromthe412.com/contest, click on the show that you're interested in attempting to win tickets to, and follow the directions. It'll ask you for your email address and your name. We use that information just to send you the tickets. Once the contest is ended, we delete that information and use it for nothing else. So now I'm going to spin the wheel, and we're going to find out if it's Keith or Todd headed to see Metal Church. And the winner is Justin Todd. Look at me messing up his name. But anyway, Justin Todd, you have won tickets to see Metal Church. Keep an eye on your email. You'll be receiving one from me and then a follow-up email from Dressy Entertainment explaining how to get those tickets. Once again, make sure you tune in each and every Monday night for the Pennsylvania Rock Show here on Music from the 412.